Give them that your. So how much you need to go around?
The only thing that we don't source is the huge cemetery.
We'll add that.
One in.
But I also wanna have these people that show us be able to talk so that they don't have to sit through all this, the reports. No, was the gentleman from Networks Northwest here?
Yeah, we'll put that.
No, I had him set up for this, nobody else showed, we can do it, but I told Mike to come this next meeting.
I like the book.
I like the book.
I'm loving it. You're loving it? I'm loving it. Cool. I'm loving it too. How about that?
All right, now that the gang's all here, we'll go ahead and bring it down and we'll get started with the pledge.
I know how that I have to sign it.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you all for coming. All right, so we got a couple little changes to the agenda here. It looks like Networks Northwest is, the months got screwed up, they're gonna come in April, so number one can go. Which is good, because we have somebody here from Household Hazardous Waste that I was gonna add on as number 6. No, I'm sorry, household recycling, and she can also talk about household hazardous waste if you have any questions on that. She wanted to talk about the recycling plan.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, so, yep. So they can talk about both. And then, anybody here from MRA? No, okay, so I didn't know if they were gonna come talk, so I just gotta find that email, what if we wanna do MRA again or not. So, just so that the person from Household Hazardous Waste does not have to sit through all of this and wait till number 7 on the agenda, I make a motion that we accept the agenda and allow her to speak before reports. So she can get on with her evening if she wants to. Okay, good with that? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none. So, thank you all for coming. You can go ahead and start if you'd like. That way you can get on with your evening.
My name is Carla Smith-Passon. I'm the Manistee County Recycling Coordinator for the PA 69 program. I gave you, we have the recycling program for the county is a little bit different than what you have now here in Norman Township. And I attached some little flyers to the paperwork up here, and it shows some of the things. The biggest thing that's different than what you currently do is the glass. The county's program facilitates glass in the recycling program. In the last 4 years, we've went up almost 100,000 pounds in recycled materials. You can see year by year and month by month, the first page of that talks about that. Also on the first page, just to put this in, the household hazard event is on August 17th this year at the Manistee County Road Commission. And the tire event for 2024 is on July 27th. And that's at Bay Area Recycling in Palawa. And tires are $2 to get rid of. Kind of veer off track a little bit. But the rest of these show totals of what we've been doing, how the different townships that are involved with the PA 69 with the county have progressed, in quantities and over the years. So basically, I would like you guys to consider coming over to the county's program in the next several years, there's another program that the state has, passed into law and went into effect last year. The counties are gonna start working on it this summer to put the plans together. And that will be a countywide plan for a number of different types of recycling besides just household recycling that will be coming available over the next few, probably 2 or 3 years when the program really starts to get going. But that's the part 115. It was passed and signed into law in March of last year. But like I said, I'd like you guys to consider coming into the PA 69 program with the county. If you guys have questions or anything, or want to compare it to what you already have, you know, I'd be more than willing to answer questions.
What's your charge per parcel?
It's $18 per year per residential parcel or household parcel.
Okay.
So if it's unimproved land, that is not part of it.
Yep.
So, you know, I'd appreciate if you give it a thought. Come back in a couple of months and answer any more questions you may have. Or, you know, sometimes it takes a little while to see where your contract's at. I know you have a contract with Republic, where that contract is at, and if you would like to come on the first of the year with the county. And then for the household hazard, last year, the county had 25,267 pounds of materials that was brought to the household hazardous waste. Now, those include, prescriptions, sharps, controlled substances, pesticides, oils, auto fluids, batteries, household batteries, electronics, oil-based paints, and other types of hazardous waste. Each year, the price of these, taking care of these, go up significantly. Right now, it's between $150 and $200 per car it costs, for every car that goes through and drops stuff off. We get a lot of pesticides and stuff that are hard to take care of, for lack of a better term. Last year, your township, I believe it had five car loads of materials come through, and I believe they would like to request $333.60 to help pay for.
That's it for us this year? I thought
I'm pretty.
higher than that, was that what that is?
I'm sorry, wait a minute.
626, yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm looking at tomorrow's meeting.
Okay.
That's okay. That's all right, I was like, hey, that sounds better than what I remember reading, so
Yeah,
that's
there
fine.
it is, 623.
Okay, gotcha.
When you try to hit every township in the county in 6 weeks, sometimes, you know, there's a little coordination problem.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is such an important program, for our county, and it keeps these out of our lakes, our streams, and, you know, out of the national forests, like you probably well know, all of the materials that are pulled out of the national forest here, the tires, the cars, the washers, the dryers, mattresses, I mean, there's drums and everything else, and it's sad to see that happen, and it's like as much of that as we can take in and keep from being disposed of in those matters.
No, it's definitely a really good program. I know we've been a part of it as long as, I don't think we've done it every year that I've been on here.
Yeah. Yep, the Conservation District, Manistee County Conservation District, Renee Mallison is their director, and she does an outstanding job at, putting all of this together. We're in with, we collaborate with, Mason and Oceana counties as well, and, with this program, so that it's kind of like when you get a bigger group, you can get better pricing on a lot of these materials, so. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? No? Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for listening.
Yep, no problem. All right, so now, I don't think that was, nobody from MRA, right? Yeah, we're gonna go back to the top. I just wanna make sure somebody was here, because we had a lot on the agenda. I didn't want these folks that are having to see all of us boards to have to sit through all of it, so. All right, so let's go back to the chart, we'll go back to reports. So, Chief, what you got?
Did we approve the consent agenda?
You know what, let's go back, because I do have to add one thing. Sit right down, sir. So board review happens this week, and I wanna add one more thing to it, because I just saw that in my notes that I typed on my computer. I was able to talk to the final person that applied today. I was actually able to physically have an interview with them, and I did, so I would like to put on the agenda at the bottom, board of review appointment, okay? Now, I need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, we're good. All right, now, what you got? All right.
As everybody knows, our spring season is here. Wildfire season is here. We dodged the bullets today with the warm weather and wind. We're in a moderate drought situation already. April 6th, I'd like everybody to write this date down. April 6th, I'm gonna be doing a wildland community risk reduction on wildland wildland fire risk reduction. And so I'm gonna tell you, and the Forest Service will be here, we're gonna go over what you can do around your properties to make your properties less prone to burn if we get a big runner. When I call a big runner, we get something like Warfield. You know, Warfield World burned 600 acres in like 6 hours. The only reason it stopped is because it hit a creek. And so, can that happen again? Yes, it can. That's the third time Warfield has burned. Very same spot, very same building order. So April 6th, wildland class at our fire department at 9:30 in the morning. We'll be holding it in our training room. If anybody knows people in the Northwood subdivision and the Deer Trail subdivision, if we can get some representatives from them people to come to our class that we're gonna be putting on, I would appreciate it.
Now, where are those two located at?
The one
I'm in
behind the
Deerfield.
Dublin gas station,
Okay.
and the other
Yeah.
one is over
Or
here
by
in
you.
Hopkinsville,
Which one by you?
just east of Snyder.
Joseph, Mary,
Which is
Yeah.
you?
Mark.
And so, and the reason I want them, would like to have some people there who know people that are in the subdivision, is, Norman Township is listed in the extreme category for a catastrophic wildland fire. Up the M55 corridor, we are listed in red. Granted, Hoxie is just a little ways off in the corridor, but we have a super high population of people. That's our highest population over there in them two subdivisions. Over the last 3 years, I've been working with the county, the emergency manager, the sheriff department, state police, Forest Service, the DNR, on an evacuation plan. I know it sounds scary, evacuation plan. But if we got a fire that happened, like happened on Warfield 3 years ago, and it happens over here, up across here from the Dublin gas station, up Dexter and Jennifer and up in that area with the right wind, people in them subdivisions are gonna have a hard time getting out, because they're one way in, one way out, there's two ways in the Northwoods. A lot of older people in them subdivisions that depend on other people to transport them people out of their residence. So we've been working on an evacuation plan, and we're gonna go over it again here soon. I spoke to the emergency manager the other day, to refresh our minds on it. And so the fire department won't have time to come and knock on your doors and say, hey, you got, we're strongly, we can't force it, but we can make the recommendation that you should leave your home because we have a big fire coming this way. We can't do that. We're not gonna have the manpower, we're gonna be in the field working the fire. So the sheriff's department, state police, DNR, federal guys, they will be conducting that part of, if this happens, hopefully it never does. But I don't wanna get caught in a situation where it doesn't, and I didn't have a plan. So if we can get people, some representatives from them subdivisions to come to our station, April 6th, 9:30, it'll be hour and a half probably at best. We're gonna go over a lot of things with what you can do to prep your area around your home. So if one does come, you at least stand a little bit better chance of not losing your property. Or you can lose your property, you don't just wanna lose your home. So that'll be happening. The sale of the hovercraft, Jordan and I have spoke. We're not getting anywhere with the company. They're basically don't want it. And so Jordan and I spoke here a couple weeks ago about if he would take control and see what he can do to get rid of the hovercraft. Through Marketplace or however you would want to do that. So I wanted to bring that up so the board knows that we still want to pursue getting rid of that because it's just taking up space.
Are we gonna do a minimum bid on that, or put it on,
I can tell you right now from what I've been seeing, because every now and then there's a few of them on the Marketplace, if you go and you Google hovercraft for sale, they're not worth much.
No.
They're not worth much at all. I mean, they're expensive as heck to buy brand new, but the resale on them is junk. And so I'm gonna say if we get somebody who's smoking interested in it, because it didn't cost us anything. We got that hovercraft, it's all we got invested in that is some time, some blood, and a trailer. That's all we got invested into it. And so the boat itself, the craft itself came from the revenue sharing board. And so my suggestion is if we get somebody who's interested in it and they wanna buy it and they're willing to offer us money for it, get it going. I tried to give it away to other departments like Neckerman for their ice rescue right on Portage Lake, they don't want it. They could run it right out of their station and never have to do anything, just drive it out and away they go. They don't want it. And so, so that was another thing on my list. Our 50th anniversary is coming up this year, this year. For the fire department, we still have some original members of the fire department that are still with us and living in the township. I want to do a 50th celebration, I guess you may want to call it. I think sometime we talked about maybe in July, sometime.
That was our original talk at the last meeting. Probably July 4th.
Yeah, probably July 4th, maybe before the parade. I want to see if I can get the members who are still here you know, get them to come to the fire department and show them the new department and do a little honor celebration for them. And so that'll be coming up here, on the 4th. We'll be doing our little open house again for the kids to spray water and stuff like that for the juniors. Truck, DOTs were done on our fire trucks today. They came out well. So I gotta replace some tires. I got some tires that are up to date. Every 7 years you have to replace your truck tires. If they've got 100 miles on them or 10,000 miles on them, you gotta replace them every 7 years. I've got a couple trucks that need tires to be replaced. Otherwise, mechanically, knock on wood, everything came out good. And so DOTs are done, so the trucks are up in good shape. And then the last thing I had was the flagpole. Did we get anything?
We found out, I just found out who we got the last one from, so
Okay.
they're all matched.
Okay, perfect.
So we're in that order.
Okay. Perfect. That's all I got. Thanks for, I know I babbled on a little bit here tonight.
Tim can hold the flag out there for you.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, if you can, April 6th at our department, for this, community risk reduction program.
So, as far as, hovercraft goes, is everybody okay with me listing it for sale to see what we can get for it?
Yeah, it's just sitting there getting older. Do we even have, you're the only one certified to fly, right? I mean, do you even have certification anymore? No, so I don't know if we can even fly.
Certified, but hasn't done it in a while.
The only thing that I don't know if we can, but as the fire department, like I mentioned to the chief too, is it's kinda hard to sell the thing as a township, because how do you get somebody to come here and say, ooh, I wanna take it for a test drive? And crash it, and then we're stuck with that. So we kinda gotta be careful. And the company that originally it came from, the reason they don't want it is because they have so many used ones in stock, they have no more room. So that kinda tells you that the hovercraft thing is kinda
It ain't, yeah, it's not worth it.
Does that,
going away.
does that seem, where would you like to see minimum bid? I don't wanna say it out loud.
I mean, I feel like we can start there,
Okay.
but I feel like that's kind of a dream. to get that.
So that's what, the start with maybe possibly dream
So
number.
how do you do that? I mean, a marketplace, you usually just put it out there with the price and
That's about what
take
the
it or
golf
leave
cart
it,
today.
or haggle, you know, so, I mean, is that?
But haggling would be up to, we got trust, I think Jordan.
Yeah, that's why I asked if there was gonna be a minimum.
That would be, that's kinda what we're
That's a
saying
pipe
is,
dream.
is,
Right.
we
Yeah.
try for that and see where we go from there.
Yeah, I mean, we can list it there, but,
Well,
and,
I
I mean,
mean, is
we
that
can-
even
we can set it.
realistic, or should we just go?
well, you never know.
You never know, right? I said we start there, but
But
I
I can start a little higher than that and just come down.
I mean, it's just like anything, it's how long you want to go before you get rid of it.
Right.
Alright,
So,
have
We can-
fun.
Yep.
Have
I
fun
mean, we
with
can set
it.
for that in OBO and see what,
Right,
haggle, see what your responses are after a couple of weeks and.
It's a start.
right. I'm good, thank you for taking it on.
Thanks, Jordan. Alright, assessor, basically, we're in the middle of March board review, we had our first 6 hours, we will have our last 6 hours on the third. And then any change notices from board review will be going out the following week. So that's basically all we got, this is our busy week of the year, so. Alright, custodian, Tim, you got anything?
Just a couple. So I have been working on cleaning up at the park and the cemetery. People have been driving through there and seeing leaves. We live in Michigan with a bunch of oaks. It's being worked on. There was a big tree down at the backwaters. I don't know how Jason found out about it. He texted me, I got that taken care of. It was completely bow-locking both boat launches.
Was it?
Nobody could get a boat in. It fell from up on the bank and got wedged in between a pipe, but it didn't break it. So anyhow, that got taken care of. And this is kinda a little bit more for Joanne, just on you're gonna get a bill for some, light fixture work that I had over at the transfer station yesterday from a company called SBW Electrical. and the one on
Is that the one we used before recently?
yes, on Bill's building.
So it's a light fixture at the transfer station?
Yeah, the two lights, the out
Thank you.
exterior lights, I had
Yeah, that's fine.
issues with, and I couldn't figure it out. And then also the faucet that I replaced here, that bill says fire department.
I think we already took care of it.
It's not through the fire department, it just, the account was through the fire department, so make sure that that doesn't get taken out of the.
The fire department. it was-
You seen the one for the faucet, I wrote down there, faucet for kitchen hall?
$220 some odd dollars, I
I'm
think.
thinking it's already been done and paid.
The only reason it was through the fire department, and I thought maybe they would change that, was
Where'd you
the
buy that one from?
Cadillac plumbing.
No.
It said it wasn't an invoice.
No, they're gonna send it to us,
Joanne.
Cadillac Plumbing, and it might go in the other one. I went and picked it up, found a faucet that would work.
What I handed
We
in
got
to
it.
you said fire department. It's
What did you
not.
turn in to me then? Nothing.
It was a yellow piece of paper and it said
Oh,
it was
that's
not an
it.
invoice.
Okay, thanks, the one that says not an invoice, okay.
I just wanted to make sure that you didn't take that out of the fire department funds.
It goes out of what, I'm sorry?
General
Township.
fund for this building.
Yeah, for this building.
Faucet, got it.
Because Cadillac Plumbing had our tax ID for the fire department.
Yeah, like,
I wasn't gonna redo all the paperwork and everything, I just wanna get it replaced, because the spigot blew off the thing, so we have water going everywhere, so we gotta get it replaced.
and then I had,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
no,
long
I saw
arm.
it, Yeah.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other
Yeah,
one
we
was-
ordered conditions for seniors and they handed it to them.
Right.
They go around, fix this. Yeah, just the years of going back and forth, the threads wore out, so they were just going.
Thank you.
the, Rich, we talked about the front door.
Mm-hmm.
This one?
Yeah, so we're in the middle of
Okay, so
figuring out what we're gonna do there.
panic bar closers. This is one of the only times in all my years of doing doors, I have never seen the internal lock mechanism being in the door like a normal door. Most times panic bars close into something, an astragal that you unscrew from the floor in the header, or they have a panic bar closer that has an external rod that goes into something. I cannot find a replacement for this. So we're either gonna have to go with the external or a different door system. I got a call in the Douglas and Cadillac, Douglas, they do commercial doors. I asked them, I said, nothing's special, cause we got till August, but come out here and take a look, see what else maybe we can possibly do. Because the external rods where you push the panic bar and it causes the rods to pull in, I don't know if they can put those into the floor to where they're non-trip hazard. You know, top, you can have a latch, doesn't matter, but the floor, you can't have a trip hazard sitting on. So, do they have something we could drill over? I was just gonna ask those guys, cause they do more commercial, they do all that tube-like stuff, commercial stuff, so I was trying to get their opinion of what we can do. And then maybe they can find the internal guts of a panic bar inside a door. Those are external, those out there, but because that one's a different one, I've never seen it like that before, until it was installed here, so we're working on it, we're gonna find out.
Why did they just have them take care of it?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we were looking into, you know, it's more, what's in there right now is kinda more residential, that's pretty much a commercial, in and out all the time, and,
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think Billy was the one that got locked out on election day.
oh, well, we tried to do that.
Just kidding, Bill.
Yeah.
Alright, do you with the transfer station, are we good there?
The transfer station is good, but one more,
Oh, sorry.
we talked last year about, a rake for the beach and stuff like that for the tractor. Since we used to have one, but that was somebody's and that somebody wanted his back.
Yeah.
Is that
my father-in-law.
something? Is that something, last year you got a price? Well, last year's price is not this year's price,
What do you got?
15.
For a 7 or a 6?
For a 6.
They're made of gold?
It's not 15 grand,
Oh.
1,500.
500.
Last year I looked at
Like a back pay.
last year I looked at Family Farm and Home, they were only a couple $100 difference. This price was from
It's the Land Pride?
Freeman.
Yeah, Land Pride. We talked about this rake thing for the beach for a couple of years. Like I said, I was able to grab my father-in-law's for a while and had it here. What do we wanna do?
I don't think we really gain anything from the rate. It
No.
doesn't pick anything up anyway. You know, everybody's cigarette butts and the garbage they leave, like,
Too small.
I guess I'd rather look at the beach sweep things that you can get
It's,
and tow behind a tractor.
I really for cleanup, I wasn't figuring out for cleanup, but that, what would you call it? North side of the dock. There's always, seems to be, it's just less used because that's where more stuff gets floating up and there's trees growing out of the beach and there's this, and if it got kept up,
Are you thinking more to rake inside the water? Is that what you're thinking, back in?
a little bit I would, just to try to pull some leaves out of there. But just to level things out, keep the trees and this and that from growing,
the box
but
plate here, like a box plate.
We got a 6 foot, we got a 72.
I can use the back blade with, cause it's got the,
That's plates.
yes.
We might have to make a couple passes on it, but I feel like it's gonna do the same thing.
Perfect, works for me. Sand at the beach, once we're talking about beach. I pulled a bunch of sand from the lake up because it's undermining the wall again.
Mhm.
The water level's so low, this is one of the other things I wanna talk about too, unless you got a different.
You guys got the same stuff.
I pulled a bunch of sand up from the lake and, you know, dragged it up, pushed it up against the wall because it's undermining the wall. The lake water is so low right now, I don't know how much sand you wanna haul in there. You either wait, cause I can pull more up, and
Like, we always used to get pictures, bring a couple of those every year, it seems like.
Yeah, Memorial Week in there, right in that time.
We can get I don't know, 3-4 loads in there, if we need to.
That's good.
Did we add any sand last year?
No.
No.
One year before.
it's been 3 for sure, 2 for
We
sure.
probably
I think
should,
it's
just so
been
we don't
4.
undermine that
It's been
wall.
4 years before the sand put down there.
That wall's gonna be too expensive for us to do a repair. I'd say, yeah, we need to save that wall and keep the sand on the beach.
So do you want me to call on that? What did you get, just a regular, one of their one dump truck loads, like?
I would get like 3 anyway.
Let's go with 3.
Yeah, what they usually bring in is the 1 big truck and 2 small. What they usually put in
When
there.
I talk to him, Tim will know we've done it before.
Yeah, start with 30 yards of sand or whatever. Just tell them that you want beach sand for the beach.
Correct.
And they'll bring some screen stuff, I'm guessing.
And did they distribute it down there, or we
Not to load it with tractor.
did with the tractor? Okay.
After they did bring the Bobcat down.
Yeah, they did the last
Did a
time.
rough spread.
Yeah, they did rough.
It's just, I just don't know where they're dumping it for us.
Right over
The far
where the swing
side.
set is, between the swing set and the tree.
Yep.
They pull
They
the,
got-
Oh,
out,
it's coming
back
out.
right in there and dump it.
Okay. So, me moving with the tractor, or?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
You can dump a lot over the walls, just dump it over and then pull it.
Yep.
So you don't have to drag
You
it.
don't go down with the wall.
And don't dump it on
I got one more thing I promised, and I'll quit. Address signs.
Yes, sir.
When we get orders for address signs in the office, I know the last one that you didn't know about because it came in the mail. But the kind of rule we came up with was if they don't live in this area, we're not delivering. They have to make arrangements to come pick up, or we install them if they're here in the township. The one that I got in the mail, I believe it came in the mail, nobody's seen it. They wanted me to mail it to them in Manistee. We're not gonna get into mailing and stamps and envelopes and time and all that, so. I tried calling them back twice, they haven't answered, so just as long as the office ladies, whoever takes care of it, just make sure that, you know, we don't go above and beyond unless they make arrangements to come pick it up.
Okay.
That's it, thanks.
Cool. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Tim? Are you, clearing some of the brush around the lake? It looked like some was down, so,
Yes.
okay, I know we talked about that last year, especially for the fireworks, but there's a lot of.
The biggest thing is the, what was it again? Fishing? The derby.
Fishing derby.
Lots of kids, lots of lines flying, hooks and heads, ears, everything, and hung up in the trees, so, yeah, we've been kind of trying to open areas back up.
Speaking of that, on the bench, when you walk down the lake, the first bench to the right, there's a board that's, needs to be screwed back on. It's just sitting there loose.
Okay.
And speaking.
Okay, it's order for
It-
10 time right now.
There are people out and about, could we maybe get a trash can down at the park?
Yes, the trash cans, I'll put them all
Hey, it's early spring, lady.
out. I know, it's
We're done like every day, it's
still in the
fine.
snow.
All right,
There were kids playing on that playground all winter long,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It's been a good winter.
all right, so, management council here. March pretty slow month for rentals. We have family dinner on the 31st for fireworks, Easter egg, firework fundraiser. Easter egg hunt is on the 30th, right?
Yep.
Okay. Besides that, everything's normal. A lot of rentals picking up for April, May, June, July. You know, we're getting into wedding and graduation season. So, okay, that's management. Okay, Parks and Rec. Jordan, you got something for us, right?
Yep, I got a couple different styles of dock bumpers for down at Robinson Landing. They're both white. I looked at, there's two different styles, one of them comes in a roll and the other one comes in sticks. And I feel like the police style, the one with just the bulb, is the one that comes in sticks. And they say that's the more like heavy duty one.
Okay.
Cause the reviews I read, when you buy it in the rolls, it leaves like, it doesn't ever lay flat. You gotta try to put it on, so I almost feel like that'd just be causing more of a tripping hazard almost, if it's not flat.
Okay.
So my opinion is to go with the P-bulb one there.
Yep.
And then, so we need, 4 sets, it comes with 3 8-foot sticks per, I don't know, $120.
Yep. 585 or 09 would be your total.
Yep, and then, it doesn't come with any mounting hardware, so I don't know what exactly it's gonna cost, I would just add another $150 to that for stainless screws.
Alright,
So we're looking at about 750. 650, about
Yeah,
660.
660.
I'm gonna add that to number 8 on the agenda. Dock bumpers for Robinson. Okay. Anything else, George? Nope. Okay. Planning, guys, no meeting yet, next month?
I have some questions. Do you know where they're at with the master plan? I know the chairwoman at some point said she wanted $500 to do some stuff. I know we approved the zoning guys to do some stuff. I just got a report that said they want more money to do some more stuff.
Nobody, I have no idea. Besides where we left off at, there's been no communication with anybody since last year.
So nothing got done over the,
Nothing.
Everybody was out of town. Well, a lot of people didn't have any meetings.
okay, one,
I did not get anything from Barbara, and I don't believe. Did you?
Yep. I've seen it.
I know I processed 2 land use permits so far.
This was reading Bob's report, was the second one.
I talked to him today, moving forward with a couple junk and blight things.
Somewhere. Is there a-
Yeah, it's got it. Got a little diagram of it.
I didn't see it, maybe you have it?
Right here.
Oh, thank you.
I know, I seen it.
Okay. Oh, you got it all penciled in there.
He's got it on the back too.
Okay, so the planning commission is scheduled for April, May, June, August, September, and October. So we'll be working on that. They could not meet, the October meeting was not, because they were the lack of quorum, so they could not end up having that one, so that's why now everybody's coming back from winter, we're able to get together and have our meetings there.
I looked at that, I thought they had a July meeting and then, the one got postponed till later, didn't they have like in October or November?
October did not.
Yeah, I put it in because there wasn't enough.
Okay, so last year, land use permits, new dwellings went for 14, so we had 14 new houses. Residential additions were 3, accessory buildings were 20, decks, gazebo, sheds, other fences, solar were 7, storage buildings on no dwelling land were 3. Okay. Besides that, I guess there's nothing really major in any of that, after that.
So the request for funding will go through during the,
Once they start having a budget.
Once they start having the
for
meetings
the
and stuff.
budget.
Yeah.
Then
Well, once they start having the meetings.
there's
see what they need
request
to
for
do.
funding on it for the fiscal year 24-25. That's my mistake.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe just hold off and do that during the budget.
Yeah, I would like to talk to him about this. I don't see what this is exactly. This is for the planning commission, but we've already given
Right.
that. This might be when I talk with Rob too, when he comes, or Mike. It's probably Networks Northwest.
I thought we approved up to 50 hours, so.
For
that's
Bob
the
and Ben,
names of
that's for
us
Bob and
before.
Ben to help write it and help get it tweaked to that point.
But they haven't even written anything.
No, they haven't written, they haven't
Well,
made, they haven't given him
I think part of
anything.
this was to pay for the survey that he wanted to do, that was kind of my impression I got, it was for the survey, for the postage for the survey, and I don't know,
Yeah,
Jack
survey
Pine to
didn't-
do the survey or
That went
something.
nowhere. The survey didn't even get done.
Let me talk to Bob and Ben a little more about this.
Last time they updated, they got more results out of the 3 public meetings they did than the survey that was mailed.
Yeah, the survey is very costly for what it actually does. I will ask Bob on that, and he didn't mention that to me today when I talked to him, so.
Need it?
Yes, I will.
Actually, it's right there.
Alright, alright, so, public communication, anybody?
Just me.
Okay, Billy.
Of course.
Oh, there you are.
I just have a couple of things. Of course, we do have our Easter egg hunt coming up, but, this is a, after the Easter egg hunt, what is it? Got one there?
We want the Easter egg hunt one?
No, the one for the cannon bottle drive.
That's right there.
We're gonna have another cannon bottle drive on the day of the cleanup of the township. We just wanna make sure it's okay. We use the corner down here again like we did last year, Seaman and, 6th Street. Or 2nd, I'm sorry, or the 6th and 6th. Right. Several conversations we've, last year we had our vendors over at the church. At the end of last year, we asked if we could bring them into the park. Of course, most of the vendors were already taken. We started a little early this year. We have a lot of vendors interested in coming into the park. We are asking just a regular vendor to give us $25, and food vendors will give us $100. On a town ordinance it says that they're allowed to have small generators. But it does say it's free, as long as they're paying to the nonprofit, except one day a year. Guess what day that is? 4th of July. And I asked Richard and you guys last year if they would waive that as long as they're giving donations, and they did, but I wanna make sure, the common courtesy, everybody knows about it. There is one thing that we did have on the brochures, that if somebody wanted to use electricity, and we offered it to them prior to talking to anybody here, and that was my fault. If they do decide they wanna use electric, they have to give a check to the township for $50 for that day. Most of them have generators, just in case their generator dies, they would have to give the township a $50 check, okay? That's it.
How many, okay, so when you say vendors, are you talking mostly people like selling different forms
Yes.
of electric? How many actual food vendors are you talking?
Right now, we're only looking at 2 food vendors, 1 ice cream. I don't know if you wanna consider that 3, but it's actually 3, if you wanna go back. The one gentleman has already sent us, we asked him for $100, he sent us $200. Kate Sperry's was at Cat Sperry, she sells like an ornament berry, and she was at the church last year, she wants to come back. We have, there's Pamper Chef,
We have Avon, Pampered Chef, Damsel in Distress, The Fairies, Homemade Jewelry, Paparazzi, and we have 2 food trucks, possibly a 3rd, plus the ice cream. So far.
That's it right now.
These vendors are setting up at the church again?
No, they're gonna set up inside the park,
What part? Where?
inside, around the lake. They'll be mostly on Second Street and Oak Street. We do not want to congest the,
Nobody at the beach.
at the beach area. There is the one ice cream company, they have kids that, they have 2 of the hand carts, they'll walk around and sell ice cream along the sides and stuff like that, but they won't be at the, set up at the beach. They've all been explained, and we've talked to Ryan from the health department. He will, if we have any questions, anybody's licenses, he'll confirm if they have them or they don't. Insurance, the whole 9 yards.
So you're gonna set up where on Sixth Street? I mean,
Not 6th Street, 2nd Street, I'm sorry.
So where you were at last year with the pavilion?
The pavilion will be left open to the public.
Basketball court area.
what if kids are playing basketball?
Well, yeah, we don't want them to, so
They
what
won't be on
about
that,
that?
well, no, what they'll do is they'll park their vehicle off the street, up to the barrier. And then they will set up a tent or whatever they want on the other side of the barrier. They set up at 9, they have to be packed up at 8 o'clock.
So are they
they run.
behind the parking or where the parking is?
They'll be in the road, from the road to the parking spot,
With their vehicle,
the vehicle.
And then just beyond the fence with
the little wood, with their
Yes.
fence steel.
Yes.
Where's everybody else gonna park though?
Yeah, that's what, we're limited on parking here.
Right.
Well, there's gonna be 8 spots, anywhere from 8 to 12 spots that we have will be used for the vendors. I mean, we're not gonna bring them inside that barrier because we could in some locations, but there's only one way in and one way out, but we wanted to clear the park by 8 o'clock.
And
What if we
how
put-
big are those rigs? I'm sorry.
No, but that's a good question. How big is it? Well, most of the little. the
This is a
T-Bucks have
picture of
no
one of the
tables.
trailers right here, this is the guy that's, is, Triple C's, he's got a small trailer and he's also got a, he does the Mexican food.
What about the loop,
We
where the
can do,
pavilion's at?
we can do
Because
some-
we don't let people park in there anyways. So, so what I'm talking about
I know what you're saying.
is you've got, where we see that, here, let me go to another picture. Y'all over Facebook. Alright, so we'll take, you got Second Street, you got the basketball courts here, you have the pavilion over here, and then there's that loop. There's enough that you could put your, so this would be like the vendor's loop. So you could have a couple food trucks here, an ice cream truck, you should be able to put, like, put 3 on one side, and then you could have,
The only reason why we was gonna leave the loop open, because there's a lot of families that cook out a whole area right there, and they're on, I mean, there's tents, there's people that, they start at 7 o'clock in the morning and they're,
but the loop, we don't let people park in. We never have let
Well, they
anyone
don't,
park.
they don't park in the loop, they park out there, but they have all their,
Well, their stuff's gonna be in here, so if you had your vendors here, and you had your tents maybe in this side,
I just don't know if there's enough room. Especially if we keep getting more vendors.
well, maybe for this year, I don't know how your group feels, cause I do want this is the one day we do stuff, and you guys are doing a great job with it. If we kept it to the 2 food trucks, the ice cream, and 12 vendors,
It's,
you know?
we figured enough spots for 20 vendors along those stretches. There's a lot of parking spots still open. They can still park there. I mean, they're still, you know, they're gonna have different places they can park.
Could what do you all think about the, like, product vendors being gone earlier?
We could do that too.
I mean, and I'm not saying that to bum them out, but, I mean, people aren't gonna be buying stuff come dinner time, 6
Well,
o'clock,
Kat-
so, you know
Well,
what I mean?
like
I don't know.
Kat here, she set up at the church and then she moves over to the park. I mean,
Mhm.
and she was there all night. I mean, her and Donovan and her whole family were there. I mean, that was some of the, most of the people so far, and from the Dublin store, which does Pampered Chef, she spends the whole day there, you know, that's, just so they already take the parking spot. The ones that don't live in the community so far, that's coming is the food vendors.
So we're talking 20 spots between the loop and that section there going down towards the low area. Did
So
you
like-
fit them all 20 in that loop?
We figured would be approximately 8 through here.
8 in this area.
Right, no, they're not on where the road is,
Just put it right behind the,
the wood,
Wood.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And then there would be 12 along Oak Street.
Just takes up a lot of parking for that day, how busy it is. So if this was the road and this is our loop, you could put 8 here, and you put the remaining 10 there.
Is that
In front of all those houses, I don't know.
8?
Well, it's parking, they would park.
So that's
Right.
20 plus the 4 food people.
The food
One of
people
them's
should go in.
kinda like, the ice cream one just kinda circles around, right? They're not really stationary, right?
Well,
We
they're,
actually want to put the ice cream over by the post office. Because that's where most of the kids would be.
I don't have a problem with that, that just takes one person long. I think you'd be able to fit everybody in here. Cause this is the most unused area of the park, I do believe, already.
But you don't get very many people from the other side walking to that side. That's what we're trying to do, is get people to go or move around the lake.
I like the loop idea.
So the food vendors would draw to the loop. Do they all have to be together, or can they be?
They're gonna be separated. There's a lot of spacing between them. Like right here, for example, 2 of the ladies that are setting up, one of them sells Avon, and that's her mother and daughter. And we were gonna put them right at the end of the loop here, and the volleyball court's over here. And they would be like here, cause they could be together, you know, and that's a larger area, they want 2 spots.
But you're talking only a car, so you're talking
Right.
10 people out of the 10 inside. I don't think it's gonna be, and if we space them out, I think we're good.
Most of the vendors I talked to, it's a 10 by 10 tent. And if the
That's-
car is parked behind that fence, it's a 10 by 10 tent right in front of it, so it's 10 foot wide and not being right on top of each other.
And I think just ask your vendors that if they have their vendor vehicle, that if they have others working and helping, I don't think they're not. Just that they park by maybe someone else and not walk over. That would be the only thing, just to try to keep our parking. Yeah.
That's been our,
Yes, ma'am.
So if the vendors are scattered all over and they have other workers, nobody's on Main Street during the day.
Mm-hmm. They can park on Main.
So the vendors' workers could actually park on Main Street and then go to where they need to go to work.
we had a few people that, the crew for the firework crew, because they had 4 vehicles.
Yeah,
They actually parked on a side street over there, along the road.
Mhm.
That kinda helped their traffic down through there because,
It limited the traffic, so that would,
Yeah.
that would kind of. I'm okay, you know, I mean, we got it, it's trial and error. I mean, if something doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, if it works, it works, if it works. So basically, we set up a parking spot and a 10x10 tent area. I don't care who wants to go do it, I can do it with Billy, Jordan, you can do it, we just make sure that, okay, there's at least 5 or 6 parking spaces here between this center. And just try to space it as best as possible.
Now, we have invited the porch, they want to come, and they can set up inside the, somewhere in the park over there.
Yeah.
The Veterans Association in Manistee, they want to set up. I was gonna ask Morgan how you felt about over by the new monument you're trying to get built for the veterans to set up over there. They're just gonna have a tent for veterans in town.
I have the monument.
The boosters are doing the monument.
I know, but they're just gonna set up there, the veterans want to set a tent up there, because they know what you guys are doing with the veterans thing. And then, the Homeward Bound Animal Rescue in Manistee, they're gonna come. They've been invited. And then, there's gonna be some other representatives from, the different forestries, through the Manistee Forestry here. They're gonna have a bunch of representatives come with them. So they will be able to, they've been asked to take the dogs and the park up for free if they want to. Just mostly for, for information.
So those aren't included with the vendors, right?
No,
Those are just
They're
scattered
just gonna be in the
throughout.
park, yeah. They were invited, just like we invited the church last year.
I don't think they're gonna spend all day there anyway.
Right.
They probably won't stay all
No,
the time.
they'll come.
The only thing our vendors, what did we have, 9 or 14 last year?
13.
Something like that.
13, yeah.
They just didn't wanna be out in the sun, they were dead in that sun all day.
Right.
I think we can space them out, I think we can work efficiently.
I think we
All day, on the fourth.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Rich. So I'm right there on Oak Street. I mean, it sounds like you're pretty confident as far as the parking goes if you set it up in the loop or whatever. But I have property right back there on Oak. If you want overflow parking, I mean, if you want to figure something out with that, we could do that too. I mean,
You might as well put a sign up for $5.
I mean,
You will make your money payment for 6 months, okay?
We have the old Malama corner, that we
Mhm.
let people park in there, I mean,
Mhm.
there is stuff, and maybe we have to put a sign for parking, extra overflow parking at Malama corner, because that is just, a lot of people park there during the fireworks. And my only thing with home and fire, I want to make sure they're out of there before the fireworks go off.
Ooh-wee.
So, that sounds good, I think if we limit
I
it to
don't know if
those.
they're gonna bring any pets, they're just gonna give information out to people that don't know that much about it.
I think if you limit it to the 20 spots, 3 food vendors, and then the additional 17, I think we're good. Let's see how that goes before we get a little too crazy. I mean, that's probably the most vendors I don't think up north in the fourth we ever had that many. Probably not.
I like it because there's so many people, I mean, other than the food vendors, they're all live here in Boston. I like that idea.
Yep. And that's what people, I think, want us to do is not go crazy spending money and get different little things happening, a little more likely, and that's what I think.
And I also had one question from most of the people last year. I got many people asked us, can we put a couple of temporary or handicap parking spots? And, I got the signs, I got the post, but I just,
Probably do something there, yeah.
because there's one parking spot for handicap on the whole,
On
on
the
the
beach, yeah. And one by the old little white shed there.
Yep.
Okay.
There's really no place that's handicap
Accessible besides over by the pavilion, really.
I know, that's,
Okay.
Everybody's uneven now.
So just for clarification, we're waiving the $100 fee?
No,
No.
the $100 fee is going to go to, as long as they're paying it to, the spirit of this, I'm the
Right,
one that
yeah,
wrote
I
that.
just wondered if it was being collected here or whether there's.
As long as, this all came about because we had a group that was having things and they had food trucks come in and the food trucks just left. And it's like, did that help your event? Well, no, we just wanted, I'm like, no, it's gotta have, there's gotta be some payback for them using it. And, I mean, yes, it helps bring in, so that should bring up more people to our stores. Whether or not that's the case, you have to kind of play with that assumption. And then as long as it's, this is raising $500 or $600, and it sounds like it will, with the number of vendors for the fireworks. For fundraising.
right now, we're looking at almost $1,000
So, yeah.
this year.
Good with every good with that, Billy, try that, yeah? And you and I'll get together a month before and we'll say, hey, this spot, that spot. Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. I had one more public communication, from Shane and Alicia Cook. So over by the woods, the old school, you see that they have put up a fence with black material on it. Shane would prefer not to put up a fence just inside the cemetery fence with black material on it. He was wondering if he could, put up the black material on the cemetery fence. And I said, you know, that doesn't seem like it's that harmed, but I kinda wanted my bleachers back. So he agreed if that we could do a little horse trading, that we could get our aluminum bleachers back. I mean, if he puts a fence 6 inches in, what does it matter? You know, save him a little bit of money on a fence, he can put, it makes it more peaceful for when they have kids playing out there, that it's nice and quiet for the people that come visit their relatives in the cemetery or whatever, their loved ones. We let them put the black, skirting up, or, I don't know what you call it, black. Fence cover, thank you. We'll give both our sets of bleachers at, and I say we set them over by the basketball court now, and set them somewhere strategically for play. What do you guys think? You guys good with that? Alright, so I'll let them know, do a little horse trade swap right there. Alright. Anybody else in the public comment? Nope. Alright. Okay, so, unfinished business. Township floor. Anybody, any thoughts after last meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard from people who are giving, they like, we can't feed our families, we're trying to put gas in our cars.
Yeah. Anybody else?
We still, whoever that may be,
Anybody wanna see another alternative from that?
You do have two expansions on here that are
Yeah,
tracked
I-
from one end to the other.
Right,
But if
and
some,
I reached out to Rob and Brian Nixon, Rob Nixon from Nixon Flooring, and he said they didn't pose any hazard with his coin, he didn't feel that was. Other than aesthetically, he said, yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
leave it. That's it. I don't care. Okay. Unless somebody else wants to put another alternative. Alright, so community gardens, or community,
Isn't that the farmer's market?
community, so it's not gonna be called a farmer's market. So, in doing some research on this, I have a community garden, sorry. It's actually, what I am proposing to allow them to do, and I think it's in the spirit with what they would like to do, is a growers / artisan market. In that term, when you get into the federal standard guidelines, the word growers, you are not selling for profit. I mean, you can make a little bit of profit, but you have to be producing this stuff. You have to be producing the quilt, you have to be producing zucchinis, you're not going and buying wholesale and selling retail. That is the big fear. Yes, Cadillac can absorb that, we cannot. The gentleman, and I heard somebody foolishly say that I was all against it last year. The gentleman last year that came, that was their plan, is they were going to purchase some things and grow some things, and that competes with our businesses that pay personal property tax and everything else. So, this is more, and I believe when they came to us with it, it was to basically be more of a community spirit building type thing, to sell extra that they grow, and, you know, or show their wares that they might make, okay? Kind of in every case, there's study after study after study, it builds community involvement, it does. So, so in talking with and investigating this, I think we were, and I don't wanna misspeak, but this building in this place is not a viable option. We have too many routes during the Saturday.
Yep.
So somewhere at the park, going with them, seeing where they would think the park, where they could set up the best from the noon to 2, I think, was it noon to 2, 3?
Yeah.
On Saturday.
It's still up
Time
in the
frame
air,
there. Yep.
just depends on where.
And then it would be products that you produce yourself, that are produced locally here, you know, that type of thing. We're not having somebody go to, you know, a vendor and buy a bunch of stuff themselves. That competes unfairly with stores and everything else. And then it keeps it local. That's what we want is community building, community involvement. And then The third thing that I would say is the organizers of it would just have to make sure that if you're selling honey, if you're selling maple syrup, that they're dealing with whatever they need to do with the health department. Besides that, it's not really a township thing, we're just saying, yeah, you can use the park, have your community get together that does these things, and just understand that we're not here to hurt, any business, we're not here to have people be making their livelihood at it, but if they can grow some extra stuff and sell stuff, or do a little crap and sell stuff, that's fine. And like I said, I researched it quite extensively, and it does, it is almost in every master plan of every major city out there. And the growers market puts it more to prevent large farmers coming in and setting up and, competing. And it does basically say it can help generate business for stores and stuff, because people come to the community a little more. You buy your fresh corn or whatever, then you go buy that steak, you go with it. So those would be, I think it's worth a try. I think it's great spirit for them to be able to do something like that, but, more power to them. In my vote, I don't know what anybody else would feel on that.
So would they be able to use that, could they have access to the pavilion, cause I know they wanted to do some like craft type, learn how to do, educational, that's another.
We're not gonna say to all of our members that electricity is gonna be available, but we do wanna look into the rules about like having, generators and things like that, so people could use them. But we do wanna use, maybe the pavilion or other places like that for like, maybe like an educational
Yeah, that's what I was
center, or like with the DNR to come and host something for the kids,
Or just
things
kinda
like
leave
that.
that open.
So, if that's a part of the park, and we can use that during that day, is that
That's hard to
something
come
that
by, because a lot of people have birthday parties,
Right,
they get
so
there early in the
Right.
morning, it is first come, first served, so
I-
you get there.
I
Yeah, with it
understand.
being a park, that's.
So
gonna be
maybe
the hardest
something
part.
in advance, some advance warning that maybe we could try.
If
Yeah,
you were
well,
gonna do it.
I had
You
mentioned, we
know.
had mentioned maybe having a sign over in the area that we're gonna have the market saying farmers market will be here on Saturday from.
Growers
12
market.
Growers, yes, thank you, thank you. Growers market will be here from, whatever time on Saturdays. Maybe some signage beside the pavilion to kind of maybe.
There's that other thing too, what do you guys call it? It's not
The gazebo.
Gazebo sign.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gazebo is.
So there's two things.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
know that a lot of times they have
Yeah.
birthday parties
Right.
Yeah.
there because they have electric.
Right,
Yeah,
So,
so maybe the gazebo's a better choice then.
that has electric, doesn't
You're
it?
not talking about doing classes every.
No,
but that's just like one general idea for, that's just something that we do wanna have maybe one or two educational booths each week pop up, depending on the response we get, at the market. So we don't necessarily have to have that area, but
I think it needs to be a living thing, basically mean get started, see what you're coming up with, see where it's leading you, and then, if it leads kinda outside that premise, just you just work with the board and try to, make it be as a positive thing as you can for the, community.
Okay.
But, it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna ruffle feathers no matter what you do. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I think this is something that's gonna benefit everybody more than hurt anybody, so I think the biggest thing would just be, making sure that we have ample parking on whatever side of the park we decide to, host it at, and then making sure it doesn't interfere with any of the people there, so.
All the way around that park where we're talking about, there's parking spaces on the.
Right, all the way up to the wood bumpers.
And if you're filling that up, then, yeah, then you've got one heck of a success.
Hey, that's the goal at least, so, okay, so we'll plan on
Anybody ever, just let them try, see what they
there,
can create.
over at the, we'll look at some spots and then I can get with you and give you exactly what spot we plan on, and we'll keep on planning further. Try to get some, I'll probably be putting something in the, scoop, just to get some community feedback and get some input as far as some of the details of that we wanna implement, and see if there's enough vendors that would be interested in get it going within the next couple months.
Okay.
So,
Can we keep in mind with all these events that we need to be having clear and free access to the pump house? and also for the standpipes on the opposite side of the lake?
Well, I don't think they're gonna be going in that area.
No.
And that would be something I'd have to explain to them if they did go by the,
What are those? I don't.
okay, so, what these are is in case there was a fire, there's a little shed type building as you go past the post office, that's their main, we have a.
Sure.
That's our pump house, that's our pump house, 6,000 gallon a minute pump or something like that, it's crazy what it does. And then we have 2 stand pipes that they can set pumps to right on the other side of the beach. We just always wanna make sure those areas, so
Those are
if,
clear.
we'll talk, we'll say those are just
Okay.
areas, I don't think you're talking about any of those areas, but
Yeah,
just,
okay.
we'll say those are our 2.
Good to know,
That's where we
that
pull
those
water.
need to be cleared out,
Awesome.
even for
Thank you.
parking purposes, so
Thank you for putting that together. I think the community's really gonna enjoy it.
I think there will be something positive for sure.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so swing set, here's the thing. When I went to order from Window, prices were a lot different than the prices that we had that night. And the other problem was, it was thin wall tubing, it was 8 foot high. So buying swings for big kids that are 8 foot high, doesn't make sense. So what I did, is I couldn't get, you can actually do the pricing right here and right now. If I can pull it back out of the dead. So I don't think we're gonna be able to get 4. So I don't know if you all can see this. This is what we were looking at, something like that. Okay, can you see that? Those little suckers are only 8 foot tall, total. Actually, when you get finished grade, they're not even 8 foot tall. So to go with more of a tripod type swing, so I can enlarge this. Okay. To go with a swing like that, which is a heavier duty steel, those swings come in 8, 10, and 12 foot high. See that?
Yep.
Okay. They come in sections of 2, 4, 6, and 8. But when I sent out that email when I discovered this, to go a 4 swings, so we do 2 kids, 2 older, 2 little guys, 2 older, at 10 foot high, that raises that price to $36.21. To go, so $36.21 for a 10 foot swing, tripod, the old style of the swing.
10 foot 4 swings.
Yep, 10 foot 4 swings, $36.21. But you also have to add in shipping. So if we go Michigan. So I just wanna make sure we have it, 'cause I don't wanna have any more delay, so.
How tall are the ones down at the beach?
12.
Those are tall.
I don't
We
want.
don't need them that big, I don't think,
I
that's
don't-
why people think 12.
They need to be smaller.
That's why we're thinking 10.
But more than 8 then, don't you think?
8's that. That's it. I can touch 8 standing.
Well, right, I don't want you swinging on the swings at the playground.
Well, then are we just getting swings for little kids? I mean, so.
Well, then-
Well, the teenagers have the basketball courts, they've got the volleyball, they hang out in the gazebo, they got the swings down at the beach. I really think that the playground should be more for 12, 13 and under. And if you get those larger swings, then you're just going to bring those kids down there and
And they're
then,
potty mouths.
yes.
You gotta remember too, as long as they're
They
made
do.
to hold a large kid, because when I had kids, I swang with them, I sat next to them,
Yes.
I swang on a swung, swang on a swung. So they gotta make sure that the gauge, whatever, and it's not, a little chain for a little kid.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have adults hanging on.
Well, and that's the thing that I get, like a 13-year-old kid's gonna be able to jump up and climb on that 8 foot swing.
Right.
So you're gonna have that age, so that's why I was thinking more of the 10 foot tall.
Well, they
So,
don't,
what do you think?
they don't give you any extra to go on the ground, like 10 is total.
Use it.
No, 10 is finished height, let's see. That comes with 8 foot, 10 foot, and 12 foot tall swing sets. So I would imagine the pole is longer than the, see what the installation manual, see what they're doing. Not that their installation manuals are working. Let's see if I can get a spec on that, 12 foot high model.
So Jacqueline, there was a thought while I was looking at that a 10 foot with 6 swings would be
I don't care.
as opposed to the two.
It really truly doesn't matter. I just think if we go the 12 foot or something, then we're just gonna have other teenagers down there. Like, they already have the whole rest of it. So if we kept it a little bit smaller, it might.
You're the playground queen, I'm looking to you.
No. Meryl, you're down there a lot too, what do you think?
I would like I said, a smaller, not to have the big kids there, because I've seen big kids down there on
So-
this equipment, and they're like,
Yeah, and they climb right on top of it.
Right.
So what, since the prices were higher than what we had originally anticipated, what about doing one of the smaller swing sections, getting it, trying it out, and if we decide we need more, even if it's just a 4 or 6, then we can do a fundraiser or do something for additional later.
and when you write a grant, you're gonna do the handicap swing.
Yes.
So they're gonna put that in the
Oh,
grant.
yeah, you'll get money,
Okay.
Yes.
yes.
So just the pipe is 2'6" in the ground. They go, 1'6" of concrete and then 1 foot of safer, resilient barrier. Wood chips. So if they do give you 2 foot, so it is, so a 12 footer would actually be 14 and a half feet, yeah. So that is there. So it is not finished. So what you're saying is, and you two brought this to us, and like I said, I just didn't want to order and not do what. So do you want to do the hoop swing? The little hoop swing that's 8 foot tall?
You guys decide that, you're the experts on.
And then you're gonna yell at us when we don't do what you want.
No, I'm just giving my opinion on the size, like, but I don't know which is better, like, stable wise, whether the hoop or the,
Yeah, the stable part, I don't.
yeah, that's your department.
I mean, can we look at maybe go with the 10 foot and a 4 now, and then see how that goes, and
Yeah, I don't
maybe
care,
try
I'm not gonna
another
say
one in the
no
fall,
to
or
anything,
bring it
so.
back, or-
We just need swings, kids are.
Right,
I mean, or start with,
yeah,
So
I
when you
don't,
go to the 10 foot.
I know we wanted
That's
to,
a heavier duty too.
It's
But-
heavier duty gauge, yes.
I mean,
Who's
if you
starting
didn't want
park
it.
camp?
what?
For swings?
Yeah, when the park down the Strong camp.
You know, I don't know.
There's little kids.
I think it's all part of that. gym thing.
I don't think it's anything very tall, because nothing very tall noticeable at that park, I don't think.
Do you wanna go with a set of 2/8 and see what it is? If the big kids complain and we can buy them a bigger one later?
No, they have swings at the beach.
No, but we can go with the little ones, swings that would be set more for 10 and under. Cause that's what that play set is set for, is 10 and under.
Yes.
yeah,
And that would keep the
the bigger kids and the teenage potty mouths, I get it.
separated, and then younger.
I mean, it's not gonna keep them for sure
Oh, I
away,
know,
but
because-
if you
Well, no,
can
after hours,
encourage
you're gonna
them to
do
stay
it.
down there and
Right.
let, you know,
Cause at the beach, when you're down there, it's a lot of potty mouth.
They have tripods.
So they're a little taller than, how tall they look, Ronnie?
Just got pictures.
That's just their website, the peak looks like about, peak of the swing looks about as matches the peak of the little pavilion there, so
10 feet.
it's probably 10 feet high.
It's just, this guy is only deep, it's 95 inches finished, 94, 95 inch finished height for that little arch swing. Which are the neat new modern swings, but they're not as tall as the ceiling here.
well, what's the price difference?
For a 2-seat swing there, it's $2,100 for the heavy duty, the ones that we had prices were light duty. That's where, when I noticed that, I'm like, we're not,
Yeah, no, we
can't do
need
that.
that.
We need the thicker tubing.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does a 10-foot one look like?
There is no 10-foot arch swing, though, they only make those things in 8. I like them, they're cool, they're modern looking, but they're only in 8. So if you did that in a 4, let me see. 4
No, that matches our current equipment too,
Yes.
right?
Green,
Right.
we get
Oh,
it
yeah.
green or blue. Green or blue. Willie go.
So there's Gym Closet out of Temperance, Michigan,
Mhm.
they're offering free shipping.
Oh.
What do you got?
Oh, Ron is
What you
starting.
got?
Alright.
What you got, Ron?
In closet.
That's separate.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's pretty.
And that's basically a tripod.
Is that heavy duty? Really? It says heavy duty.
Heavy duty?
Yeah.
Heavy duty.
How much did we?
And that's in Michigan.
How much is it?
That's 2451, 2452.
For a four, right?
For four.
It's a four swing.
So that's a 12 foot.
That's
four
12
swing.
foot?
Ron's on the swing committee.
Well, Ron just knows how to use Google.
Oh, no, read Google, that's way too much.
So you said you looked at that, what, Ken?
No, I don't know if I looked at that, dude, we looked at it.
Don't
So
you
that was
guys
12.
get
They have a 10
government
round,
pricing?
They have a 10 four swing, heavy duty with free shipping.
He's looking.
Being that you're a government entity, you should get a discount. You don't pay retail. I've never heard of that.
We don't pay tax.
We don't pay tax.
That's
all we
helpful,
get.
but you're still a government nonprofit.
Not unless you have these like discounts.
Yeah,
There's a state program called MIDeal that will get you these kind of discounts, you know, at various vendors, but that comes at a fee too, and we really not big enough to pay that kind of fee to get into that deal.
Well, I did government purchasing for over 30 years. We always, there were discounts for government entities.
She's saying. I'm not seeing those things in there. Gym closet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the swings on there. You got anything in 10 foot there, Ron?
I don't see anything.
Well, I mean, if it fit the need, even though it was 12 feet, it's not like the kids are gonna climb up it, so if it was swings on a 12 foot, we still can get it for the, what was it, 24.50 with free shipping? We can always make it shorter, yes, we can. Yeah, I think
You always
we
make
can.
it
If
And it was
cheaper,
four
then by all
swings,
means, go for it.
and we could get 2 of those, couldn't we?
So you don't think that part can handle these swings?
I don't
I
think
think
we
we're
need.
plowing.
So just get the one now. Wherever
I
you
would
can get
like,
it economically.
like 4 swings, I think would be plenty, so then we could add other things at different times, I mean, I don't know, I don't think we need 10 swings.
Okay, so can we agree to get a 10 to 12 foot with 4 swings
And it's in Michigan, and it's shipped
and
for
a
there.
maximum price?
Yeah, you found it? Do they have it in green, so it matches?
Yeah, that's that went to Willie Gold, so it matches.
For Ron, you got it?
Hurry up, Ron.
Like,
Doesn't give you,
No pressure.
doesn't give you options for colors, but that doesn't mean there's not.
No.
Jordan 2 and 7/8 OD galvanized pipe. Found it?
I'll take it.
What does it say?
You're good, that's the thing.
Well, no, there you go, it's 3/8. No, the legs are only 2 and 3/8 OD. Shipping weight is per set is 380 pounds.
For how much?
Is there a weight capacity?
That's for 4 swings?
The 2400 is 2 sets, I'm just saying the weight is 380 pounds per set.
Right, pretty heavy.
Try to actually do the best you can figure it out. That's what I'm kind of telling you.
Does it give options for a couple of the small little basket seats, for the little kids, babies?
I think we would have.
I guess that's what they would call them, basket seat. Basket.
Alright, so $3,000, well, that's underneath the budget we approved, 4,200 last month. You want me to try to go with something like this?
wanna
Marilyn,
see
you wanna
one
order it?
26?
She got
I think
this.
Ron got to see it, that's. Ron.
Go around, just, yeah,
Yeah,
do it,
that's it.
like, let's get him.
Let's get it.
So, 4 swings, 1 set. Right?
It's what, 2,600?
24.51. Just like that.
Okay,
Shipping
and
fee.
then if,
4 swings, 1 set.
are the swings come with it, with that set? Okay,
You figure that out.
okay, so who gets the order then?
There's enough, we have $4,000, I have $4,000 to play with. I'm gonna do this and get what we need best
Cause
we can.
maybe at least one of them a baby swing?
Yeah, yeah, I'll try to actually call the company if I can't figure out more on this, I don't wanna sit here and try to search.
Yeah.
There's more information, there's details I have to go through, but it's a couple pages, so. Yeah, so we got the 4, we're gonna try that and see what we can get the best we can. I'll try to get at least two little guy swings, 2 junior swings, and then get the 2 normal swings on.
Okay, and then along those same lines, the information for the grant, can you give me that?
Yep, okay. All right, so now where are we at? Okay, now we're on new business. So we have the 40, we go over 240 tomorrow, so I will get that handled tomorrow. All right. So, new business Networks Northwest, different month, so we're gonna scratch that one, we'll table that one for next month. Your power plant generator grant.
Okay, it's just the standard resolution, I think it's all in your packet, that just says that you approve the, TAR, application for the TAR grant.
How much is the generator total?
Yeah, anywhere from 10 to, I don't know, there was one that goes almost 30,000, so, 14.5, I think was the total.
And how much is the grant for?
So the PAR grant max out at $5,000. So I've applied to, Little River for the balance at this point. I've already submitted the grant to that. So this is just, the PAR only goes at $5,000.
All right, so we just need a motion for resolution.
How big a generator is it?
Well, yeah,
What is it, kilowatt?
26K?
26K. Yeah, there was a 22 and a 26 and a 32, and the 26 was mid, and I had 3 contractors out to, bid on that. I don't remember whether that was Expert or what's the name, the one that starts with the K.
Coulter.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was that one.
How big's your generator on?
Ours is 27, with the automatic transfer switch.
You gotta have that. How much was that? You know how many years it was?
And then you're gonna wanna pay the annual service plan on it too. They come out, check it over, they do all the maintenance
Well,
checks.
let's see if we can get the money to get it done. And then we'll take it from there. Okay. All right, so do we need a motion?
Yeah, you need a motion for, any support for, to allow the resolution for PAR plan grant, please.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. I can sign those documents.
Okay.
Alright, okay, so budget work session. So we just have our normal budget coming up at the end of the year. I'm gonna get the line item, all the funds and the line items. I'll start going through, see where we're at now currently. I would like to probably do it on a Wednesday, it's midweek. I don't want to tie up anybody's weekends or beginning of the week can be very busy for me, so in April, that would be the 18th, and on Wednesday, no, yeah. It would be the 17th or the 24th. Any of those days not work for somebody?
Okay, April?
Yeah.
You said the what?
17th or-
That's pushing, I need to go through these lines, I've started going through the lines,
What do you mean, going through?
each line, to see where we're at in the budget, and if I've made any adjustment, need to make any further adjustments.
Like, for the amended budget?
Yeah, I mean, I wanna make sure that what I put in the budget is in the correct lines.
Oh.
So I'm doing some adjustments, just like the auditor did a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, so let's
So
go.
I'd rather go at the end of April, the beginning of May, if that's possible. So the 24th is fine.
24th of the 1st, it would be 1st of May. Anybody have a problem with Wednesday, the 1st of May? It would be a week before our meeting, so if there was anything we had to do, we would have it at the meeting. So when you get those done, I'd like at least a week or so before, if I could have all 4 of the budgets, line item, sent to me, so that I can go through and start making an amended budget and see where we need to be the following year. So I have that worksheet that I did last year.
What time would that be?
Time do you guys wanna do it? It doesn't matter to me. 6 o'clock at night, 5:30, what's easier?
I'll be home from work, so 5:30.
5:30 work?
5:30?
Yeah. So 5:30 on May.
May 1st, with one, you need it, the line, or the budget's a week. I'll get it. to you.
Or whatever you can get, yeah. Or if you can get one done and then send it to me, that way I
Right,
can
yeah,
start
I
breaking it
know, I
down.
just was going through the general fund and there were some things between clerk and elections that I needed to adjust.
No problem.
Yeah. I'm almost done now.
Alright, MRA, they're not here. Okay, does MRA send us that thing again for 700 and some odd dollars? We haven't been doing the MRA because of the cost that it costs
That's
with
what they're
kids.
asking for this year.
They're asking for 2,500?
Norman Township is asked to contribute, yeah. 25-20.
The whole thing with MRA is it was set up to be countywide, and we used to play softball, baseball, we used to do things out here. We do nothing out here anymore. Everything you have to travel to the city.
I see you even got rid of Stronach Ball right now, too.
Yep, so everything is at,
Duffy.
Duffy.
Yeah, I think of that 25-20 that they're asking, it's kind of extreme for the amount of participants you would even have going there, so.
I haven't been
say
there
no.
in years.
I know they'd like to come out and talk to us, but really, I don't really wanna waste their time either.
No, I'm thinking no.
No.
Alright,
So we're gonna, well,
you're not gonna act on that?
do you want me to email them and tell them that?
I emailed him and talked to him, and he was supposed to come out here tonight, so I will call him again and say, listen, we're just not interested in doing it this year.
Thank you.
Alright, FOIA coordinator. So right now, we currently do not have one. I make a motion that the office of supervisor will take over it for now.
Second.
Anybody have any comments on it?
Well, I'm sorry that I really just don't feel like I can do it anymore with, it coming from employee.
Okay.
I think it'll stop, I think having you do it's gonna put a stop to it, it's, it's kinda turned into a game, so I think we just need to move forward. So, yeah, I support it.
Household hazardous.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, I'm gonna tell you, with me doing this, you guys are the keepers of the records, and along with Val, I'm just gonna send the emails to you, and you're gonna have to collect the information and get it to me. Because I am not keeper of the records or your computer. So,
Well,
I'm just letting you know, that's how.
Well, if we can find the record, but that might need assistance, depending on what the record is.
Well, it's not from me, because I don't keep any records here. So. Okay, household hazardous waste, Six.
2680.
I need a motion, I think this is something, does anybody have anything against doing it? Okay, so I need a motion,
I'll make the motion. 36.
I'll second it.
62680 to payment for the household hazardous waste, so Norman Township can be involved with that cleanup effort that they do with the county road commission. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Alright, so, like I said, I had quite a few people apply for board of review. There was one person that I still needed to talk to, was not able to get with because out of town a couple times. This person has sat on our board of review and is willing to do it, is fully trained, and is ready to go. So I make a motion to nominate Nick Schilling, who sat, I believe for 2 years on our board of review at one time, to replace Mr. Taylor, right? Yeah. To the board of review.
Do you know when his term expires, or
I
how
do-
long it is?
I do not know, he will be filling out, the term of the person that just left. So,
Taylor? Is that who it is? Who is it?
What was his name, Taylor?
Matthew Taylor?
Matthew Taylor. okay.
So it's zoning that you
This isn't
report,
board review, this is
I mean,
planning.
planning commission, I'm sorry, planning commission.
So
Yeah.
then they come back to-
Fill out the vacancy, Nixon, come back to the planning commission, yeah. Sorry, I'm doing 7 board.
So, okay, wait a minute, so we're not doing board review,
No,
we're
planning
doing
commission.
planning commission.
Yep, and Nick Schilling, we'll
Nick
take the
Schilling.
seat.
Matthew,
Taylor.
is that his name?
Mhm.
Okay. Matthew Taylor. I got lost there, so.
Yeah, sorry, that's my fault.
Yeah, so
Thinking
it's,
I'm writing VOR too many times this week.
Right.
So.
All right, I'm
second.
sorry, who made the motion?
Jordan made the motion, you seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, okay. So dock bumpers, the 660 for dock bumpers and fasteners, to be purchased from Home Depot.
I make that motion that we'll get the bumpers.
Okay, all, you got Ty and Braley?
Got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. You see the motion? Oh, what, you got
Can we
something?
get the tractor down to the backwaters to drain that
Yeah,
drive down?
I was gonna do it the other day, but it'd be nice if it needs to dry out just a little bit.
Yeah, we went down there today, it's over in hell down there.
Yeah, it got driven down there too many times on this nice winter when it was soft, and it's just,
It's a muddy, yeah, it was a mess.
it's not, nobody went down there to tear it up, it's just driving through it made it really messy. Yep, that was on my agenda.
I just need a motion to adjourn.
Can I mention?
Everybody made that motion.
Everybody.
We are adjourned.